All right, hello everybody. Welcome to today's pre-market analysis. And let me go ahead and just do this. I think it's this one. There you go. Oops. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we're going to do a quick pre-market analysis just to show you some trades I'm probably looking at for today's trading day. Let's get started. Let's start with the euro dollar. All right, euro dollar right here. All right, if you notice, price is coming back up to that level. Now what happened was we identified this range right here. This one in this level, and then we saw that price did close below that level by violating previous structure support or previous lows also right here, and then what we waited for initially was for price to come back up to this structure level, and most often price does find some sort of resistance on previous support levels. So we were looking to anticipate a move back down. Now, price is now around here, kind of in the middle of that channel right there. Until this high is violated, there's we're not anticipating any shift in trend. So we're still have that lower low, lower close, so anticipating for price to still continue to go down. Let's go ahead and go to our 4 hour. What we have here, nothing really. Let's go to our hourly. Nothing there. Let's go to our dollar CAD. Dollar CAD still bullish, and now what's happening right here is it looks like it might price might be going to print out some retracement. It could retrace to this previous level of structure again and anticipate for price to continue to go back up. That is still not a really high probability prediction. So let's go ahead and go into 240. Let's see here, 240. Here in the 240, for those of you who trade triangles and pennants and flags and all that, you can see there's some kind of, I believe this is a flag pattern right here. That's kind of forming. And what tends to happen, with that kind of pattern is that price tends to continue to go back up. However, I do not trade that strategy. So for those of you who do, that's something that, probably is in your radar already. So let's go back down to our 60 minute. There is I believe that's a bat. There is a bat pattern forming on the 60 minute. So if we put that here, to the 886, this is a bear Gartley pattern on a bullish trend. So we want to be careful when we're taking targets. especially if you're taking target twos. Initial targets usually in the 382 and target twos around the 618 level. So yeah, a couple of things. Since this is a bear Gartley on a bullish trend, we want to be careful when we're looking for any extended targets, because chances are price would not get to that level, just because it is still in you know, a bullish trend. Another thing is that this 618, for those of you who are taking target twos, this 618, if you notice, there is some sort of structure right here looking left. So you want to be a little bit cautious about there. What you probably want to do is move your target twos a little bit higher, maybe above that 4090 even handle, probably 4092 or 94, just to be a little bit more safe if you're going to take advantage of this. Let's go ahead and now let's go to dollar yen. Dollar yen price is at that large zone of support. Let's go ahead and see in the 240. 240, it did print that double bottom right there. Now, normally, there's not very much structure right there, but since this this is forming at that big zone of support that we have, and also did have that looks like a divergence right here, I do take that as a double bottom. However, we did that double bottom obviously passed already. What you could take advantage of is a 2618, where after that double bottom, when price goes this way and then up, down, this move up right here, you want to wait for price to come back down to the 618 level, and then you buy around the 618 levels. And stops obviously are going to be below this low, and then targets depending on your tolerance or your risk to reward ratio plans. You can do some extended targets right there, probably the 127 extension. But let's go down on our 60-minute. Let's delete this. 60-minute, that looks like a bet. Gartley, way off. 60-minute, there is that Gartley pattern. And the thing with this this trade, actually, you'll be able to take advantage of both if you do trade both strategies. So we have this, and then right there. If you trade both strategies, you can take advantage of both. Because our targets do fall into the 382, and then you're waiting for the 618 retracement anyways before you ride the trend back up as a continuation. So you'll be able to take this as a Gartley, sell it right around right here. It's actually at market. It was supposed to be at the 127. Price did come up a little bit above that, and then you were expectation is the price will go down to the 382, or for target twos to the 618. And then at the 618, if you're going to take advantage of that 240 2618 trade, then you buy around the 618 and anticipate for price to come back up to probably previous structure, or if you want to ride it back up and just trail your stops. Next one, pound dollar. Let's just see this. Pound dollar, we're still bearish. We are in that, oops. We are in that zone of support. 240, 240, same thing. What you probably would be waiting for on this one is a double bottom. There is the RSI is or was oversold, and we could see some divergence right there. So what you want to wait for is a double bottom and maybe continue ride the trend up, since this is in our zone of support. Stops obviously goes below this low. $60. Nothing. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar. There was that deep Gartley pattern that we took a look at, I believe yesterday or the day before. If you had orders, if you took advantage of that and you had orders and got triggered, prices going up, it still weighs, it still has ways to go to our target ones. If you, however, did not get trigger on that order, it is already invalidated, because our because this leg did penetrate past our X leg. 240. Okay. 60. This is probably, there is a bad pattern right there. That's it did hit limit orders already if you are one of the people who saw that earlier, but it hasn't hit the targets yet. So if price comes back up to the 886 level, you can take advantage of that one. Same thing with their stops, obviously going to be above our X leg. Target ones is going to be around the 382, and then target twos is going to be the 618 level. We go on our New Zealand. New Zealand, it still has the deep Gartley that we have. It's still, like I said, it's still going to be a ways to go at. This is not going to happen anytime soon, but it is there and it is still valid. The 240. 240. If you notice, price looks like it actually had found some sort of resistance right here, or some sort of resistance right here on this level. And the reason for that is if we go back to our daily, you'll notice that this leg of the move actually did this. Went up, went back down, up again, and now price is back down to that area around right that area. And it is some sort of structure, so that's most likely why price is actually finding some sort of resistance there. If we go to our 60, 60, is that I believe that's Cypher. Cypher. Yes. Okay. So 60-minute, there is a possible Cypher pattern. Right there. Our completion is in the 786 level. Then stop is probably going to be around the 65.80s, and you want to go a little bit below that, so around the 65.78, just because 80s is the even handle number that we do want to avoid. Now, the thing with ciphers is that the risk to reward ratio is not good if you're only taking if you're taking it up to the 382, which is traditionally the first targets. What you could do is maybe if you want to wait until price maybe penetrates that 786 and then gets down, price gets down to the 886 level, and you can take advantage of it over there, because this is going to still be valid until this X leg is violated. Now, the other thing is that if you are taking it traditionally with first targets and second targets, the 618 level, same thing that we talked about earlier, that 618 is coming into some sort of structure. So you want to be a little bit before that, just to be a little bit safer. So that's around this 6650s level. You probably want to go about 640, 66, 47s, 48s, and because of that structure, and it is an even handle number. All right, let's go to Euro Yen. Euro Yen. All right, we're still on a bearish trend. If you notice, it's still continuing to have lower lows and lower highs. Let's go back up to Euro Yen. Where's Euro Yen? Nothing there. Nothing there. Let's go ahead on Pound Yen. Pound Yen, we are bearish on a bearish trend. It did violate this previous support level, and it had violated this previous support level also, and it is heading back down to this next support zone. It's not quite there yet, but that's where it's heading, or it's looking like it's heading. So Pound Yen, let's do the 240 first. 240. So we got bearish right here. And there is a bet. a bat pattern right there. Price is still playing around that 786, 886 level. So if price could comes back up to or 886, you can take advantage of this bat. Same thing. First targets is going to be on the 382, then the 618 for the second targets, and stops are going to be obviously above this X level. And I think that is it. All right, so that's our pre-market analysis for today, January 8th. Now, if you are watching this during or before the New York session, we have some NFPs coming out today. And that's probably something that you want to be really cautious about when you're trading, or if you're going to trade around that time, just because the market tends to get really wacky around that time. So yeah, that's all of it. Again, I'll be doing this for the whole month of January. If you are if you want to check it out, it's going to be around 7:30 GMT, so that's around a little bit before the London session. Also, I'll be posting this on YouTube. You can check that out over there if you missed the live stream of it. So, all right, that's it. Good luck, traders.